Oh, hey guys. By the way, this is the dentist tank and it's been a year or so since you've seen it for the last time. The plants have grown amazingly, so why don't we go there and check it out. Okay guys, so this tank is called Pinnatifida on the rocks, and by now it is approximately 2.5 years old. The last time you've seen it was 2 years ago. It was when Logan visited me for the last time in Europe, and a lot has happened ever since. And back then it was a little bit naked. I just recently have trimmed the Pinnatifida, but now it is super large, growing very compact with these tiny runners, and this is the look that I want to achieve with the Pinnatifida on the rocks. So guys, for this specific video I made an Instagram post where I asked you to submit me questions about this aquarium, and yeah, here I am to answer them all. So if you want next time to be covered in a video like this, make sure you follow me on Instagram, links down below in the description. So let's get started with the first question. First question comes from Yola1 Pyotrek 1. What's the CO2 system in this tank, inline or inside the aquarium? I'm using an inline CO2 diffuser, or to be correct, I've been using, because last weekend I noticed it was leaking. So I removed it from the system. I don't have the replacement yet, but I'm gonna get a new one, and it's gonna be inside the tank. The reason for that is, you can guess it, the previous one was leaking. So this is the reason why I don't like inline diffusers, because there's a double risk. You have two connections for leaking. So I'm going to use in the near future an AQUARIO in-tank diffuser. It's simple, it's failure proof. Let's get to the next question. Next question is from Patrick JK. Trimming Pinnatifida, how rigorously do you trim them? Is it true that nitrate limitation will turn normal Pinnatifida redder, or only the UK species? And also, how do you trim the left side of the carpet if you are right-handed? So trimming Pinnatifida, I actually have done that on a live stream. We can cut in a little bit of footage of that. I'm trimming it extremely rigorously, so I'm absolutely brutal with that. I take some cheap iron scissors, you know, like they are old wave scissors that I have. So I don't care if the blades get damaged a little bit, because I'm trimming literally around the rocks. So I try to trim as close to the rocks as possible. And when I'm done with trimming, it looks like a tornado went through the tank. You have just little pieces of rhizome remaining. So I'm not doing it like accurately, a little stem here, a little stem there. I just chop down everything, like I'm removing 80–90% of the plant, just a tiny pieces of rhizome remaining. And these pieces are recovering super beautiful and have allowed me to achieve this compact growth. Yeah, second part of the question, if nitrate limitation is gonna make the Pinnatifida turn red. So the Pinnatifida in here is from Tropica tissue culture, so it's not the UK version, and UK doesn't stand for the country UK. It is an special region in India. So this is just a variety from Pinnatifida from India. That's what the UK stands for. Yeah, it's true, nitrate limitation is gonna make your plants redder, but in this case I have had the Pinnatifida really purple, really red, and also green as it is right now, and the nitrates, the fertilization has been the same. The only difference was the light intensity. So this tank is illuminated by two Twinstar 900 SP units, and when I kept them at 100%, the Pinnatifida was crazy as pink, and now they're running at 50%. So for me it's the light intensity, but in your case it can be a combination, light intensity and nitrate limitation. And the last one, how do I trim the left side of the tank? Even thought I'm right-handed, I still trim it with my right hand. It's just more difficult, but you can get the job done. Next question is from Green Cube Scaper. What is the ideal temperature to maintain Pinnatifida like this? I mean low and dense. So in here the aquarium water is not heated at all, because you know it isn't in a heated environment. and in the summer here is an air conditioner that keeps the room temperature nice and low. So I would say the water temperature fluctuates between 21 and 24 degrees Celsius, and usually the lower the water temperature, the more compact and dense the growth is going to be. The higher the temperature, the bigger the internodes are going to be, the more leggy the growth will be. So keep it nice and cool for compact growth. Let's have a look. Next question. What is the temperature in the tank? I live in a hot country. My tank is usually at 30 degrees Celsius for most of the time, and all my Pinnatifida has died. Could the temperature be the problem? So actually, Pinnatifida can handle hotter temperature. This is why it is also recommended for discus tanks. So my guess is, in your situation, maybe there was a lack of CO2 which has caused the Pinnatifida melting. So actually, Pinnatifida can handle higher temperatures, at least 28 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure about 30, but it's also recommended for discus tanks at 28 degrees Celsius. And oftentimes it is lack of CO2 that is causing this plant to struggle and melt with a warmer temperature. So make sure, even you're at 30 degrees Celsius, you have good amount of CO2, which is 20 to 30 milligrams per liter. Coming to the next one. Next question is from Gamika97. How many Pinnatifida 1-to-grow cups were required for this scape? This is a good question. It's been 2.5 years ago since I set up this tank. I don't remember correctly, but it wasn't that much actually. So I think I have initially used something like, I would say, a maximum of 12 cups. Might sound a lot, but this is almost a 2-meter long aquarium, about 400 liters. So, and to cover the rocks from both sides, you can see this tank from 2 rooms, 12 cups is not that much. Aquascape_36 is asking, can you explain us all about the fertilization and the care of this tank? It's pretty simple. I'm using a nutrient-rich substrate, which is Tropica soil in this case. I'm using CO2 injection, and I'm using a liquid fertilizer, which is in this case the Tropica specialized fertilizer. I'm maintaining this aquarium on a weekly basis, so I'm doing automated CO2 injection. It is synced with the lights, go on, go off, same for CO2 injection here. And as for the fertilizer, it's a weekly dosing. I'm dosing this tank approximately 20 to 30 milliliters of Tropica Specialized once per week, which is not a lot. I would call it, for this tank size, very lean dosing. But the thing is, I'm where I want to be. I don't want the plants to explode. I'm literally keeping them alive and keeping my maintenance nice and low. This is what you want for a client tank to be. Next question is from AAD Tanvir. Sorry if I screwed up the name. Have they started breeding? So I guess we are referring the cardinal tetra in this aquarium. I haven't seen any fry. I guess there are just too many fish, too little place to hide, but I have a ton of red cherry sakura shrimps, and they are breeding like crazy. They are grazing the Pinnatifida all day long. Tons of babies every time I clean the filter, tons of babies in the filter. This is why I have now an intake protection foam on the filter to prevent the shrimps getting inside the filter. And the final question comes from IPLC_inspiration daily. Are they glued or tied to the rocks? I guess the question refers to the Pinnatifida. Some of them were glued because I wanted to cover some spots where there were no crevices or little pockets where I could just squeeze the Pinnatifida inside. But majority of the Pinnatifida has been simply squeezed into natural gaps in between the rocks, so it stayed there naturally. It is rooting and attaching as an epiphyte very, very quickly. The runners go all over the rocks, and by now it attaches naturally by itself all over the rocks. So you just put a few of them here and there, and they just start spreading out all over the rocks. Okay guys, now that we are done with all the questions, let me give an overview over all the hardware used in this aquarium before we get to the maintenance part. So the aquarium is led by two Twinstar 900 SP. They are run by the tiny little micro timers. I have a specific dedicated video about them if you want to check it out. Links down below in the description. I have recently swapped the filter for the Oase Biomaster 850 simply because the good old trusty Eheim Professional had a malfunction, and I wanted to experiment and see if I can get better results with the Oase, also to make my maintenance a little bit easier, since the Oase Biomaster has a quickly removable pre-filter, and I'm absolutely loving this feature. As for CO2, I'm having a 2 kilogram bottle with a double stage regulator, and it is running on a solenoid, and the solenoid is attached to a timer which has a similar schedule as the lights. By the way, speaking about the light schedule, I have a 1 hour ramp up period and a 1 hour ramp down period, and a total of 8 solid hours in between. On the other side of the cabinet, we have the reverse osmosis system built into this system here. I have a little tab on the filter where I can drain the water from the system going straight into a little sink in the cabinet. And then the RO system, I simply start a refill. I calculated how long it takes to refill the entire aquarium. I'm having a little mark here on the side wall, so I know how far I have to drain the water. Then I'm simply starting the refill with a countdown timer, and for safety reasons I'm having a water stop device attached to the rim of the tank that's going to kill the power once the surface level has been reached. This has been it for the hardware part, and now enjoy some juicy maintenance action. So guys, I have just finished the maintenance on the Dentist aquarium, and if you're local and you want to check it out in person, why don't you make an appointment and get your teeth checked? Details down below in the description. Hey, what's up guys? By the way, this is the Dentist tank.
Hey, I'm sorry, we're gonna do it one more time.
Are you serious? Do you know how disgusting it is to put the water back in your mouth and just spit out?
I'm sorry, dude, we gotta get the shot right.
All the things I do for these videos.